Joining us now, Laura Martin, a senior analyst with Needham, who has a hold rating on the social media giant. Laura, very good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us. I guess first question is your reaction to this independent audit. How surprised are you by what we learned from it, and how significant is it for the stock?
Well, I think in terms of the surprise, I think there's been a lot of bad press about how Facebook is reactive and piecemeal and not really lead in social media areas or civil rights areas. So some of the report findings was that they had active discrimination for the last year on their platform against Muslim and Jews and had not taken that down. I think more recently, the reason advertisers have gotten involved is because there's hate speech. And therefore, they don't want their ads showing up next to white supremacists or any of this hate speech, which has brought it into the money realm, which is the seat I occupy.
When you say they've typically had piecemeal approach, reactive approach, as opposed to leading by example, will that change now, given that companies are pulling ad dollars off the platform, or do you think it will die down fairly quickly and they'll be able to go back to their age-old approach, which, let's face it, hasn't hurt their share price?
You know, maybe, but I think what's happening is brand trust is being undermined. You know, we saw that they made promises to the FTC, and they ultimately got fined by $5 billion because the FTC did not believe they had kept up their promises. If that happens here with advertisers as well, where they promise something, advertisers come back, those money drivers would tend to be less understanding if Facebook doesn't meet its commitments. And right now, it's not making any commitments to them at all. So I think this is a brand trust problem.
So why does the stock keep going up? It's up today, despite the scathing news and the bad headlines. It's up despite all of the big name advertisers pulling out. It's trading near record highs. I mean, what ultimately cracks the business case for this stock?
So we have to see it in the P&L. So when Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg do nothing, that's great for Wall Street because it says they're not going to they're not going to spend more money trying to moderate content. They're not going to limit the types of content they post, which might be popular, and get some advertising from super fans. And they're going to do nothing. And the Facebook model is an awesome monetary model. So what we need to see, and I think some people think that out of their 7 million advertisers, brands just aren't they're not very important. Maybe they're 10% of total advertising. My opinion is slightly different than that assessment, which is why we have a hold. I think all of their pricing is set at auction. So with up to 1 million of their small businesses going bankrupt because doors have closed during the COVID lockdowns, and now 1,000 brand advertisers globally boycotting Facebook, both of those are downdrafts that affect every auction price and cost per thousand that Facebook sells. So I think it will show up in the P&L, and when it does, Wall Street will reassess.
And so your price target, remind us, Laura, is?
We have a hold. We don't do price targets for holds.